Hey everyone, so tonight we are in EPCOT, we are in the France Pavilion, we are checking out Monsieur Paul.
That's right, we've been here before, but we haven't been here since the reopening, so we're very excited about the new menu. We actually did a vlog, like we said beforehand, and we're excited about trying all new things. We did look at our old vlog to make sure that we're trying new things, to provide some variety for everybody. But we are certainly excited about tonight.
For sure. Okay, so if you didn't know, where you enter is kind of on the back side of the France Pavilion, but when you enter here, it's actually connected right here to Le Chef de France. And we walk in, I can already smell all the food. It smells so good. I'm very excited for tonight. So we have just sat down. So far, everything looks very, very similar, but we've been told that everything, like menu-wise, is very different from the last time we were here. So let's see what we've got. Now, this dining experience is a gastronomic meal of the French, and it is priced at $195 per person, but it is a 7-course dinner. Now, it looks like we're going to be given an amuse-bouche. We will pick our appetizer, our fish course, our meat course, and our desserts. But it does appear that it looks like there's a little intermezzo and a cheese course that is selected for us. In addition to the 7-course tasting menu, they do also offer 2 wine pairings. Each wine pairing is a 5-ounce pour, and there is one for $65, and then there is a higher end version, which is $110. I wanted to include this shot just so you can see kind of what our table setting looks like. We have sat down, we were given this napkin here, which I'm going to go ahead and unfold and put on my lap, but they have given us some still water, and we've got some wine glasses here. It's very, very nice, very fancy. Yes. It's not super loud in here just yet, but I do feel, oh, I lost Steve because he's very backlit there. Let's see if I can change that. Let's see, maybe if I could do like one of these things. That's better. But as you can see, the dining room is very, very nice, and as I mentioned, it's not super loud in here. We have dined here in the past, and I think as the night progresses, it gets a little louder.
C'est a glass of voisin jumelle.
So we have received a glass of champagne. This is the Chef Boucou's cocktail, and it is served with the Amuse-bouche.
It's a fresh salmon. You have 2 different salmon inside. You have raw salmon and smoked salmon. On the top, you have a little dill and lime. You have the sauce. The sauce is a cocktail sauce with some mayonnaise and mustard. You have the toast, if you want to spread the salmon on it, for example. And after, at the middle, you have a shortbread parmesan with a little bit of lime and salt on the top. And you have 2 gougères, like puff pastry, cheese, mozzarella.
Our amuse-bouche has shown up. This is probably one of the most beautiful looking amuse-bouches I've ever seen, and it's definitely going to be more than like one bite, which I think is what we usually see. But it's basically salmon 2 ways, and they've given us some brioche toast that we can either spread it on, or we can use our little fork and eat the salmon. And it also includes 2 little gougères. I think he said it was filled with like Parmesan.
Yes.
So it smells awesome, looks beautiful.
It's a great start to the meal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All right, we were gonna dig in, but we decided this is a special night, so we're gonna do a little toast. Cheers. Okay, this angle is really good. I can see your face.
All right, that's good.
When I go like this,
doesn't work.
We're in trouble. All right, so I think you guys can see the menu here. These are the choices we have to make. As you know, we already had the cocktail and the amuse-bouche. So the next thing we have to do is select an appetizer. And as you can see, there is a Maine lobster salad, which sounds awesome. Escargot cassoulet, that's not me, that's definitely gonna be Steve. And then also they have a saffron mussel soup that sounds really, really good. I feel like this is kind of my safe zone. I think I might go with that Maine lobster, just kind of shake things up a little bit. Next we have the fish course, and there is a sea bass and puff pastry that is calling my name. I think Steve is going to do the snapper in potato scales, and the seared scallops sound good, but that is very similar to what we had the last time we were here, and we want to try some new things. When it comes to the meat course, everybody knows I love my steak, and I'm actually going to go with it because last time we were here, both of us had the duck, and it was very, very good. I think Steve is going to go with the chicken, but if none of those sound good to you, they also have a rack of lamb. And then for the dessert, we'll just talk about that later. I am here just nibbling. Steve has already finished his amuse-bouche, but I'm just here nibbling on my things. Everything is really, really good. I think it tastes really fresh. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think overall the amuse-bouche was very refreshing. It's a great way to start, combining flavors. Mike knows how I feel about dill, but I actually enjoyed this on top of the salmon and the brioche toast, so it's a great way to start. Also pairs very well with the champagne, so it's a good start.
You have the mix between the two flavors, and don't worry, you don't have some shell with the escargot. No.
Great.
And for you, sir, the lobster, in passion fruit vinaigrette, you have the seeds of the passion fruit on your plate. The little point is the sauce, so really don't hesitate to try the sauce with the lobster.
Okay.
On the top of your lobster, the square yellow, it's a mango. You have also some coriander, and in the clams, you have some tomato, olive, and herb inside.
All right, so our first glass of wine has shown up. He said it was a Pinot Gris.
Pinot Gris.
Yes,
Pinot
and
Gris.
then we also got our appetizers, and as you can see, I'm trying to get over here. Steve got a bowl of escargot. It kind of looks like a bowl of soup.
Yeah, escargot cassoulet is what it's described as.
Okay.
So you have to imagine it's going to be all flavor all the way to the bottom. He actually recommended digging right to the bottom to get the flavors, but I have to admit Mike's looks pretty impressive. So
Mine looks very impressive, I will agree with you, but it also looks very scary to someone who does not like seafood. I guess when I thought of like a lobster salad, I didn't think it would look like this.
no, it's lobster. Plus,
Okay.
there's no salad. It's lobster.
Yeah. I'm cracking up over here because, like Steve said, there's not much lettuce. There's like literally one little sliver of lettuce going down the plate here. But I'm sure it's going to taste really good.
Salad.
Oh, and also, just because, okay, I dug into this. It's very, very good. Just don't look at, don't look at this thing. We also got some bread service. I chose the baguette, and Steve got the epi bread, but it looked like they had also a choice of some olive bread as well.
We did. Which hopefully we'll have more options in the future. There are a lot of courses with this meal, so
Yeah.
I think we need to make sure we're balancing the wine, the food, with some bread as well. So I've already dug into my escargot cassoulet, and I gotta tell you, while it seems to be like presented in like a style of a soup, the flavors are so good. It's very flavorful. I'm not getting like a strong, like concerning like flavor around the escargot piece of it. It's very much like a tomato pea/savory dish. I think most people would definitely enjoy this. So we're joking here. Apparently I am backlit and I'm going to be out of focus the entire video. So there's that.
Good now. It's good now.
All right, but here's my bite of my escargot cassoulet. Cassoulet, I have to admit, I thought of it as like a casserole, Mike. Is that like?
No, it's like kind of like a stew.
Okay, it's a stew. So it's very delicious. I'm definitely enjoying this. So here we go. I'm gonna try to talk Mike into trying this. I think he'll like it. As I'm going to share the traditional French way is make sure we finish off our delicious flavors with some of our bread. So I'm going to dip it in here. I thought this was like crude American way, but apparently he said it's great in France. So it's great in France is good for me. So here we go. All right. So what do you think about your entree, or not entree, your first dish?
The appetizer. So, it's good. If you are wary about seafood, don't be as adventurous as I am. I wouldn't order it again. I like it. I'm sure if you like lobster, you're probably gonna like this. I didn't. I did eat it all. I was able to get through it, right? But Steve's is definitely the way to go, which is odd because it's snails.
Escargot.
Yeah. But it had a really good velvety texture.
It's savory in
and
general.
it was so savory. Steve has the winning appetizer here. But I guess I was just expecting more of like a salad with just some chopped up. I guess I was thinking of like Cheesecake Factory. And like maybe a big salad with some chopped up lobster in it. I was not expecting this. It was really good. It was fresh and it had a good texture to it. It just wasn't my favorite thing.
This is very lobster.
Yeah.
Very lobster in your face. Less salad, more lobster.
Right,
So,
and I will say that the little head they give you as kind of like the accoutrement, the plate, can be a little disarming for people.
for people like Mike.
I was like, oh my god. But yeah, the bread service is fantastic, however, let me tell you.
So I might eat the actual lobster, but I do know that we have several other courses here, but I don't want to leave that alone.
For sure. Okay, so our second wine of the night has shown up, and it looks like, oh yeah,
Sea bass, silver pastry, and the snapper for Monsieur.
beautiful, wonderful. Thank you.
Plate it for you.
Oh wow.
Voilà. Perfect. So like that I can explain when you have the show at the same time.
It's great.
Speciality Monsieur Paul. Voilà. This is a mignonette with some salt, black pepper and shy. The name of the salt is Salt of Maldon from the Wessex in England. Hop, with the tomato and asparagus. With some grilled almond and lime on the top. Voici. And this is the sauce choron created by Monsieur Paul Bocuse. It's like sauce béarnaise but with some tomato inside. Voici.
Wonderful.
And Monsieur, this is your sea bass.
Thank you.
Pastry. With
So in case you missed that, we are on our fish course, and I have the sea bass in a puff pastry. Man, this looks so amazing. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. And then Steve, I'm gonna move this wine glass out of the way. You got...
I have the red snapper, and it's covered in little potato perlettes on top of that. Underneath is a beautiful garden vegetable medley underneath that's been pureed, and on top of that, or underneath that, is going to be the sauce, which he says, do not hesitate to put the sauce on the fish. That's going to be the perfect bite, so I'm very excited about that. Having said that, I am a little bit disappointed because Mike got the full presentation for his, and his looks phenomenal, but this might be the lighter option for me.
We'll share.
It's a lighter option for me, so I'm happy about that. And the first bite of this delicious fish-shaped puff pastry.
Puff pastry right here.
Is it all puff pastry there?
Yeah, right there is just puff pastry. There's no head there. Okay. Here we go.
All right. Don't go with too big of a bite.
And we're gonna go with the little sauce. He said this is basically a béarnaise sauce with a little bit of tomato.
All right.
Oh wow, very flaky, very flaky.
Very flaky.
Let's do one of these.
Tender.
Very hot. Very good. Wow. I'm gonna let it cool down for a little bit longer. So we'll go to Steve, but man, right off the bat, those flavors, awesome.
Looks really, really fresh. Tender. Love that. Take some of that sauce on top.
there for 50 years.
Okay. This is absolutely amazing. As much as I was jealous of Mike getting his fish encapsulated with puff pastry, the flavors of this is through the roof. It's amazing. I can't wait for Mike to try this to compare it against his.
All right, so Steve and I are on the fence. We cannot decide. Steve thinks his is better.
We're competing.
But I think mine is better. Steve did describe mine very well. It has the flavor of like fish and chips, but with this puff pastry, oh my gosh, that texture is just pure heaven.
All right, I'm gonna have
and
mine.
And then yours.
It's just, everything is delicious. It's all sauce forward, and you get the crunch of the potato on top of it, and the remoulade underneath it. You get all the flavors. I'm gonna make Mike try one more bite just to see. Just to see.
Let's do it. And by the way, if you're curious to know, the wine pairing is fantastic. This is a rosé and pairing very nicely with both of our fish entrees. All right, I have to say, I think we're both at an impasse. We can't decide which fish dish was better because I think mine was so good.
I think mine is better.
Yours had a very good sauce.
Very good sauce.
But the puff pastry of mine cannot be beat.
I know, but the fish on its own on mine was like so good.
Yeah, but my fish was really good too.
They're both great.
They're both great. You cannot go wrong. with the snapper or the sea bass?
It's exactly the same for you.
Yeah.
The Point Williams, of course. So the brandy pair with the sorbet pair, the same. Of course, for French people, it's again an excuse to drink some more alcohol during the dinner.
Absolutely, as you should.
Yeah, we love to have this kind of excuse.
So we're presented with a sorbet, and on top of the sorbet is a pear brandy, which we actually have at home. And Mike, I don't know what recipe it was.
It's a French toast recipe.
All right, it's a French toast recipe that we had to try this out. It's a Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the pear is actually inside the bottle, and they pour the brandy on top. So you can see like there's a little bit of a layer of sorbet plus pear brandy. It's meant to be a palate cleanser. It's meant to be a detoxifier. So here we go. I think it's going to be a little bit strong, but I'm
Yeah, it's gonna
expecting
be strong
that.
but delightful.
Yes.
I took my bite already.
Yes, both of that.
Yeah.
All that. It's good. It is good. It's very refreshing. So there's that. But expect the liquor bite. So.
Yep. Dinner has arrived. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. And we've got over here some mashed potatoes or a potato puree maybe with lots and lots of butter, he let us know.
And here is my dish. This is the chicken, and I know everybody says boo on chicken, but this one looks pretty elegant. It's served with morel mushrooms. It has a black truffle au jus from the chicken juices that have been rendered down, and the rice pilaf. It looks absolutely amazing.
All right, so Steve has dug into his chicken dish. What do we think?
So I'm thankful that they provide some salt and pepper here. It is a little under seasoned, so I have to admit that. So
I took a bite. I think the same thing.
yes, I mean in general it's just chicken and gravy, which I hate to say because it has morel mushrooms. It's got black truffle in there. It should have like an elevated taste. So I'm going to try to augment it myself here at the table so I can make it happen. So here we go.
Go for it. Okay, yeah. So I asked Steve what he thought, and he was very hesitant. He said it lacked depth.
Yeah.
What a phrase.
Well, I mean, it was.
But then when I took a bite, you gave me a bite, and I was like, oh, I see what you mean now. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. Okay. I have to agree. I think the same thing. I added a little bit of salt to my steak. It's just missing that like element.
The finishing element. Like.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's very disappointing.
Which is odd because everything has been on point.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. The entree
But-
should be like the swan song, shouldn't it?
I agree, yes. And also, especially because we're just trying to be honest with you guys, for $200 for dinner,
It should be amazing.
yeah, it should be. I would have to say, if you're gonna, like, because we always get asked, like, what's the best steak on property? Where do we go? I still think Topolino's Terrace.
Yeah. Definitely not this steak. I tried it. I tried Mike's.
Yeah, he did. He took a bite.
The potato is the shining star, which shouldn't be the situation.
I would say the steak is better than the chicken. Would you agree?
Yes.
I think so. But still,
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah. And now we are on our cheese course. Now he did say this was a Comté cheese. We've got a blue cheese, we've got a brie, and then we've got a goat cheese. And as you can see, it's served with some grapes. We've got a little bit of preserves, fig preserves, and then it was also served with a few slices of this bread. This is a raisin walnut bread, and he was telling us that the blue cheese is the strongest cheese on the plate. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and put a little bit of the fig preserves on this bread, top it with the cheese, and it'll cut through it a little bit, make it a little bit more palatable. But off the cuff, everything looks fantastic. Okay, so something very unexpected happened.
Yes. So we got repositioned to be.
So we were sitting right there.
So we are a little bit closer to fireworks viewing. So that should happen here in the next 15 minutes or so. So
Yeah.
we have our dessert that's still yet to be presented to us. So we're excited about that. And I think there's actually a course after desserts on top of that.
Oh, okay.
we
But our
got-
server was very nice. He was like, "Would you like to switch seats?" Because this table opened up, and the show is about to start.
We would like that. Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
So as you can see, here is our table. As I mentioned, that was where we were sitting. We are now here, but we've got this awesome window view. And yeah, the show's gonna be starting soon.
Et voici, messieurs. Voilà. Voilà. And this is the sphere of EPCOT with the logo Monsieur Paul, with the hot chocolate sauce, with a little bit of cognac inside.
So excuse the presentation. When I cut my fork into it, it all just completely fell apart. But this was a chocolate dome with a little bit of chocolate inside of it on top of a financier. It was so delicious, and I want to say it was not overly sweet. It was like just the perfect amount of sweetness, richness, a perfect way to end this meal. Fantastic.
So admittedly, I did not actually choose my dessert. The waiter actually did. I said, I know that Mike was going to go with the chocolate sphere, so choose me the next best one, and it ended up being this apple one. The apple tart thing here is absolutely delicious. You can see how it's like on a bed of like beautifully like sliced like mandolin apple slices as a bed on top of that, with the vanilla bean ice cream on top of that, with the Joulet cream that they poured on top. It's absolutely delicious. It's light, it's refreshing, it's not heavy. Exactly the way I wanted to end tonight.
And with our spectacular view, we have our last plate. And it looks like we've got some macarons, some financiers. He said there's some salted caramels. And then it's finished with a little bit of port wine. Yeah.
Yes, I think we are already stuffed, but we're gonna relax here and watch the show. Maybe we might gain some hunger here in a bit, and we'll see that. So they're not rushing us out, which is fantastic. So we're gonna enjoy a show and our dessert right now.
And that was our dinner at Monsieur Paul. As you saw, we had a very nice night. We enjoyed the majority of the menu. It was a little disappointing that those main entrees were not the shining stars. They were not what we were expecting them to be. We did enjoy everything before that, along with the dessert. But as we mentioned in the video, at $200 a person, it's a little tough to swallow, especially when just downstairs you have Le Chef de France, which has a wonderful menu, a really great selection of cocktails, and the price tag is a lot more wallet friendly. Now, this was our first time at Monsieur Paul since the reopening. I do have to say it did feel very similar to before the closure. Though the menu has been updated, it did feel very familiar, which I like. I didn't notice anything very different with the dining room or the restaurant itself. So if you've always been a big fan of Monsieur Paul, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It's going to be just like going home. We hope you liked this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And from our magic family to yours, enjoy.